I'd like to take a few minutes to go over a decent choice for ammunition if you happen to be concealed carrying a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9mm or some other comparable subcompact 9mm with around a 3-inch barrel or so. The ammunition I want to talk about is the Federal Hydra-Shok 147 grain. I have been carrying the Remington Golden Sabers, and those were good loads. I did some research on the Federal 147 grain Hydra-Shok, and there are some key points that I wanted to go over and why I think this load is a good choice, especially for me in this particular type of firearm. Here is the profile of the round itself, and let's see if I can't get the camera to zoom in on it. So there it is. It's a standard pressure 147 grain. One thing I like right off the bat, you can see the channels right there. That is to prevent or help prevent bullet setback for constant loading and unloading. That could be an issue with carry ammunition if you use the same round over and over again and unload and load the gun at the beginning and end of every day. You can push this bullet back over time. That can create a little bit of an issue with reliability, overpressure, all that good stuff. So I like that little feature. The bullet itself, this is the profile of the round. I like the profile, and I think this profile will tend to feed well in most semi-automatic handguns out there, smaller semi-automatic handguns that are out there. The main characteristics I like about it is, number one, it's a little bit heavier. 147 grain is a heavy load for a 9mm. And the reason I like that heavier load is the potential to penetrate farther. I think penetration is very important. I don't want to see over penetration, but I think penetration is something that's very important, especially if you have to deal with intermediate barriers. And what I mean by that is like car doors, something like that, possibly maybe wood, drywall. And the reason I take those things into consideration, you don't have to as a carry conceal, but as a peace officer off duty, if heavens forbid I end up into a situation where I might have to help an on-duty officer, or I have to utilize my firearm myself, the fact that it does have a little bit better potential for penetrating intermediate barriers and that good penetration on the target itself is something that I like and I find very useful. The 147 grain typical penetration, from the research I've seen, typically right around 13 to 14 inches consistently out of a 3-inch barreled gun. If you have a bigger gun, 4-inch barreled gun, of course your performance is going to be just a little bit better. But out of a small gun like this M&P Shield 9mm, I think that's really good performance. And the one of the things that I like is the fact that the 147 grain, the recoil impulse is more like a push rather than a snap. Some 9mm rounds, even though 9mm is a low recoiling cartridge, some of those rounds out there, the plus P rounds and such, they tend to be a little bit snappy when you have a smaller gun. This right here is a low recoiling round in my opinion, a little bit more of a push than a snap, and coupled with the fact that the M&P 9mm, the Shield 9mm, is already a very low recoiling design, it's just going to be that much better. I want to have every little edge that I can take. So to me, the penetration, the low recoil push of the round, just the general ballistics of the round, I think is definitely pluses in my opinion, and that's why I'm carrying it now in my M&P. The round is known for consistent expansion. The expansion, you're looking at out to 0.6 inches. So to me, I like that. It's good expansion. From all the reviews, I haven't done this stuff myself. I haven't chronographed it myself. I haven't done any of the expansion tests myself. I went out there and looked at a lot of different reviews and studies on this round that's already been done, and it seems like the expansion is very, very consistent. When I get time, I can confirm it myself, but I have no doubts that I'm not going to have any issues. The round is pretty inexpensive and easy to find. You can find it online. You can find it. I found these rounds locally and there's a good supply of them locally. So if I want to shoot and practice with these rounds, I have no problem doing so. So that's just some of the things that I wanted to talk about. One last point, the advertised velocity is 1,000 feet per second. From what I've looked at after going through and seeing a lot of other people crunch numbers, it seems like velocity out of this gun right here is about 950 to 980 feet per second, which is perfectly fine with me. It's right on par with the advertised 1,000 feet per second, so I have no problems with that. So, all right. With that said, thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to provide your input, whether good or bad, on this round. Just like everything else, this round isn't perfect, so if you guys have some issues with this particular round, feel free to voice it so that way everybody can get information from it, and we can go from there. All right, thanks a lot for watching.